So this one's going to be a little bit different, I guess. I replaced, technically twice, replaced my my front two sensors. I don't know if you'll be able to see this one back here. It's extremely tricky to get to, but slot ones in both banks, just because fuel was reading really weird. My AFR is like completely off, and it keeps throwing the PO171 code. And the thing with that is, I was thinking maybe I just got some unlucky O2 sensors. So started with some proper ones, and we're gonna go from there. Now, I've seen a couple people online have the same problem. Right under here, out of this water bypass tubing, it actually builds up some coolant under there, and I think it's just because like an O-ring is busted. Got this O-ring kit so that we can replace that and see if it's still leaking or if it's something else, but I'm almost convinced it's that. So I already cracked these loose, but we've got two bolts that come through here that mount it. And I don't know if it's just me, but down under, I don't think you guys will be able to see it on camera, but it almost looks like that bottom end's not pushed in all the way. Maybe the gasket's just done. We'll find out here in a minute, but it's kind of hard to hold the camera and get this undone, so let me go ahead and zap that off. All right, so here's our lovely water tubing. That little aluminum piece should come out, and then there should be another O-ring back there. This one's still on the housing over there. Actually, let me show you that real quick. So you can see that one's still in the housing, so we'll pull that off, put a new one on, see if we can't get this part apart, and then re-gasket it. The more I kind of inspected this, the more I realized he probably used way too much gasket maker, and it kind of overlapped, because even pulling this part out, there was it was kind of caked up in weird places and not even. So I'm thinking the coolant probably just slipped past all that, and that's majority of where the problem came from. Because I mean, this part was obviously the part that I think was leaking, and that is the part that you can see is kind of all gunked up and whatnot. I actually split this a little bit, just trying to get it off of the this aluminum tube. I don't know if that's gonna focus, but it doesn't look too hateful. I don't know. We'll mount up the new O-rings and see what happens, I guess. So after looking at this a little bit more and finally taking off this O-ring here, this one was actually a little bit worn out. You could kind of touch it with your fingers and it would kind of expand a little bit more than normal. So that very well may have just been the culprit, which would be pretty dope to me. So yeah, let's get these new O-rings on, and then we'll put everything back together, bleed the car, see what happens. And a little tip for anyone who cares, we have our little top from our coolant, and what you want to do is just kind of sit your O-rings in there to lube them up. If you put them on dry, you'll have that chance of them cracking or ripping or breaking, and then we'll be doing this whole thing all over again, and that's not at all what we want. Okay, so now we got her all filled up. Keep checking, and we're just letting it bleed now. So we're waiting for it to get up to temp, and also for the fans to kick on, so then we can kind of monitor and see how much more we have to add to it. So I'm gonna slip away from the camera for a couple minutes, let this do its thing so I can properly monitor it and you know, fill up as needed, and then come back with you guys. Okay, system has been all bled out. It's kind of hard to see with, you know, all the dark. Oh, there we go, that's a little bit better. Peep the front a little bit. The back ones have the Brakenex logo. The front ones, let me see if I can get it without the sun. Let's see this one. Brakenex HKS floor mats. Got them through a good friend of mine. We might be doing a collab soon to be able to have these on the Brakenex website. So I will definitely keep you guys updated with that. And a couple people have been asking me about the side skirts. They're not gone, they're right there. I took them off to get them on the lift at work, just because it's really hard to get anything on that lift with being any kind of lowered. So it's a little bit of a struggle, but you know, it'll work. And obviously, with being that I'm going to do the ball joints pretty soon, I don't want to put them on just to take them off again. But knowing me, I'll probably put them on for, you know, a photo shoot or something. But that's pretty much all I wanted to go over in this one. I know it's kind of short and it's not everything you guys wanted to see, but I'll keep that for the next one, I promise.